Hello?
Hi, Bennett. It's Liz Burdick. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, indeed. And I can see you as well.
Okay. Very nice to
Nice
meet
to,
you finally. And I very much apologize, but I can basically only stay and introduce myself. I have our town attorney and the PZC chairman sitting out there. So unfortunately, the special meeting didn't work for me this time. I apologize.
not at all. And we knew that. I just
Yeah.
wanted an opportunity for you to say
Oh, me
hi. And
too. Me as
and if
well.
you,
Thank
uh,
you.
if you can't, I will offer your apologies. Um, I'm hoping people will get here a little early. We'll see. It's
That's
pretty
okay.
easy to,
If you could do it right after the meeting starts, I should be fine.
yes, we will. And you'll have plenty of opportunities.
Yes.
I am going to ask you to get back in touch with me about one of two work groups
Okay.
that I'm hoping everyone will join. We're going to, at our last meeting, we adopted two um, critical focus areas for the work of the council for the next 12 to 18 months. And they're really very closely interconnected. It's, creating a better public awareness and assessment of mobile homes and mobile home living, counteracting the stereotypes that lead to discrimination, and promoting the positive aspects, which are really quite strong. And you know better than anybody, and so I don't have to preach to you. Um, and closely related to that, so that you call it public education, basically. And closely related to that is promoting the use of mobile homes uh, as affordable housing in Connecticut. And I'm hoping that we can get everybody to sign up for at least one of those committees, have it co-chaired um, have both of them co-chaired by a park owner and a resident.
Great.
And and then have those work groups work independently, because meeting once a quarter, we can't get anything done as a council. It's got to
Trust
be
me.
done behind the scenes, and really get started. And one of the things we've done successfully, but not for many years, is bring a brand new mobile home up to the Capitol, um, and have it there for a couple of days, and have legislators and um, uh, public officials, as well as the general public, view it and talk to um, representatives from the industry, residents, about mobile homes. And that really is part of both strategies to both of our objectives, I think. So I think the industry is willing to help out with that again, um, and we'll be talking about that tonight. There is one little contentious thing that's just recently happened. There have been three bills are being filed um, that affect mobile homes and mobile home parks, and those will be quite contentious. I think they're being raised on behalf of park residents, and I think we'll have the strong opposition of park owners. I'm just going to acknowledge that tonight and
Okay.
not allow any substantive discussion, but I am happy to convene a separate discussion if folks are interested. Certainly relevant and important to the council, but these are not council bills, and there's little to no likelihood that we would ever take a position on them, because it's going to pit one major stakeholder group against another. My hope would be that residents and park owners will sit down together outside the legislature and hammer something out that they can live with. But we'll see.
Is it
We'll see.
raised bill in this session?
It will. Yes, it has been raised. It'll get a public hearing. It's not yet been published. There are actually
Okay.
three of them. I'll circulate them as soon as they're out.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy to do that. Yeah. So that's the planned for tonight. And I think it's really just brainstorming about these two objectives. What are the concrete tasks that we need to undertake? There was a very strong consensus. We did a poll before our December meeting, and these two um, objectives scored head and shoulders above anything else, and garnered support from all segments of the council. There are some related items that aren't going to come to the fore, but I think if we succeed in these two, we'll have an opening to maybe do some overhaul of the zoning laws. The bill that was enacted, God, a very long time ago, to prohibit discrimination. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Bennett. Hi, Miriam. Oh,
Oh.
that's not Miriam.
No,
No,
it's
hi.
Liz. That's Liz.
Hi.
You're the first to say hi to our new member.
Hi,
Almost
I'm
member,
Liz Burdick.
appointed.
I'm the director of the land use department in Montville. And I've
Oh.
just been appointed to the council as your required town planner.
Nice. Welcome to the council.
Thank you.
Yes. So Liz is newly appointed, but not yet sworn in. So, and she can't stay with us tonight. So she will join us in March. You have the schedule, right, Liz, of upcoming meetings?
I do not. And would I be sworn in at the town clerk's office, or do I have to
No,
be
you'll
sworn
you'll
in
be
elsewhere?
you'll be sworn in remotely
Okay.
by one of the attorneys at our meeting. You don't have to show up anywhere. We'll
Okay.
take care of it. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get Cynthia from the legal department to swear you in.
Okay.
Bennett, I'm going to have to leave at 6:30 tonight because I've got another Zoom call at 6:30. So,
I appreciate that. Yeah, everybody does. We're going to try to be real efficient.
Okay.
And that sort of depends on whether people show up on time.
New technology. It may take a little while.
Yeah, I know. They had to actually enter some information. So far, no one has contacted me. I'm checking my email here, and I've got my phone handy, so um, we'll assume. And everyone said they'd be here, so we'll see.
Okay.
Liz, feel free to hop off at whatever point you have to. And as I say, as soon as we have anything resembling a quorum, we'll kick it off.
Yeah, I have to hop off in about 10 minutes. Nancy, I actually had a planning and zoning commission meeting tonight at 6. So, and this was sort of a last minute thing. So I wanted to just attend and introduce myself.
Well, that's nice.
Okay. Dave, it looks like you're here. Can you hear us?
I can, yes.
Oh, excellent. Okay, we're not seeing you. We're seeing an icon
Yeah,
of a lock.
My little light at the top of my computer is on. And
That-
I don't know why it won't turn on. It
That's
happens
okay.
every
Well,
time.
I've never seen this icon before. It's a picture of a
I have.
padlock.
I
Oh,
have.
okay. It looks like you haven't paid your bills. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
You're able to see, however, right, Dave?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, good. Then you're seeing our newly appointed town planning member, Liz, who will introduce herself in just a moment or two. She has to leave us, unfortunately, because she has her own. Hang on, that's one of us, I think. Hello.
Yeah, I heard that when I first joined. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you,
Hello.
Dave.
You have some experience in Montville, I guess.
Who's this?
I definitely do.
Hi, Al. What's up?
I know you have some mobile home parks down there, so that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm having trouble
we have
hearing you.
several.
What you do is, in the email, there are two links. If you use the bottom one, that's the easier. Click on that link, and when it opens up, it's going to ask you to put in the login and the password. And those are in that email right below the link. Do you see them? In my email. Say it again, please. No, there's no charges at all. It's just password protected. So you have my email from today. And you see that there are two links in it, right? And you did the bottom link. And then it opens up two boxes when it asks you for login and then the password. And I highlighted in yellow what they are. You could just copy and paste them right in. Give it a try. Should work. Worst case, you can try calling in. All right, man, thanks. Bye, Mark.
Hello.
People are having trouble already.
There's a couple extra steps in this process.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Mark, the unfamiliar face you're seeing belongs to Liz Burdick. Hey, Ben. Hi, can you hear us, Ben? We can see you, but do you connect with audio? Well. Ben,
There's
There it
Ben.
is.
he's there, but I don't believe he can hear.
It doesn't look like he's muted.
I know, it's very strange. Ben, can you hear us? Let me see, there's a chat. Maybe I can get his attention. Oh, no chat. Great. He may have his speakers muted. Rafi, hi.
Hi, it's a little tricky getting into this thing.
Yes, well, some people have found it so. I'm glad you're here. Ben is not able to hear us, I believe. And I don't have a way of,
I can hear you.
Do we have Ben's phone number?
don't. Dave, are you able to shoot him an email?
Yeah.
It'd be from the email I sent this morning. You'd be able to pick it up.
Um,
The only thing I can
yeah.
think of, he's not muted, but he's not hearing us. And so I wonder if he's got his speakers on or if he clicked the use audio.
All right, let me give it a try. I gotta open up email. Hang on. Let's see.
Bennett, can you turn on and off the chat? Because it says that chat is turned off for this meeting.
Apparently I do not have that magical power.
Oh, I thought maybe as host you did.
No, no.
Bennett, what do you want? Let me see if I can get, hold on a second.
Well, wait a second.
Ben Cass-
I click chat on mine and it opens up a meeting chat.
Yeah, it does. And down at the bottom, it says it's not
Oh,
available.
chat is turned off for this meeting. You're right. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Bennett, what do you want me to say to Ben?
That we're all
Can you hear
here.
me?
We can, oh, we
Yes.
can hear you. Now,
Okay.
finally, we can.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right.
Thank you, Dave. All right, Mark is here and Carol is here. And we're missing several. Al's having trouble getting in. Dave, if you want to give him a call, just see if
Hang on a
you can
second.
help
I'll
him.
call him right now. Hold on. He should be able to call in, right?
That's what I told him. If he couldn't log in otherwise, try the call in.
All right, well,
But-
he generally has trouble, but he calls in. Hold on, see if I can get him.
Nancy and I have a meeting at 6:30 today, so we're gonna.
Yeah, I know. And we'll just give 2 minutes.
I'm just gonna
People do
text him.
have- Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, who are we waiting for?
Quite a few people.
Oh, no, but I mean, who's Dave texting?
Yeah,
Al can't get in. And Marcia's supposed to be here and Miriam's going to be late.
Excuse me, Bennett, is it okay if I introduce myself to the folks that are here?
Absolutely, please do.
Okay. My name is Liz Burdick. I'm newly appointed but not sworn in to this council. I am your required town planner. I'm the director of the land use department for the town of Montville. Unfortunately, it was really short notice. This just happened, and I have a planning and zoning commission meeting starting in about 10 minutes. So I just wanted to log in and introduce myself, and you're all welcome to my email address. Call me, email me. I know Bennett is going to catch me up on what you've been doing for the last year or so. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for getting here, Liz. It's great to have you. We're very excited and look forward to working with you starting in March. And I will definitely get you the list of 2023 meetings.
Yeah, and I'll continue to, is there a meeting in February?
No, we just do quarterly meetings. So there may be
Okay.
another special meeting and you'll certainly get notice. And
Okay,
if so, we'll
perfect.
make sure you get sworn in at
I
that
will.
meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem was this meeting is after hours and there's no one available from the department. So we're flying solo. They just set this up and it's being recorded. But other than that, we're have to take care of ourselves tonight. So
All right.
thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I do have to log out because I have folks waiting outside my office for me, but thank you. And I look forward to seeing you at the next meeting.
Great.
Nice meeting you,
Take
Liz.
care,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you, Liz.
Let me just make one more. No, I have no other people trying to reach me. So I suggest we get started.
I just tried to call Al again. I went to voicemail. So I sent him a text message and he's probably trying to get in.
Great.
I don't know.
Yeah, thanks. I wish there was something we could do to help him, but I think it's
Yeah.
too hard for tonight. So thank you for being here. We'll be as quick and efficient as we can. I did, before we start, as you could see from the agenda, just want to acknowledge that there are 3 mobile home bills that I'm told have been raised for committee hearing and have not yet been published, but should be momentarily. And I will circulate those to all of the council members when I get them. These are not by any means council bills. These were introduced by individuals. I think you're all pretty well aware of what they are. And I understand that these are important issues that people feel very strongly about. And I would be happy to convene a forum for the council to talk about these at another date. But I feel strongly that we have to go ahead with tonight's meeting for the purposes that we planned. As I say, these have not yet even had a hearing. It's a long legislative process. There will be ample time if folks want to have a council discussion.
Yeah.
Um,
I have Al on the phone. Hold on. I can step away. Can you call in? Can you call in?
Hello?
It's on this. It should be on your screen.
Hey, Dave,
Just the number on the invitation.
Dave, can you mute your mic while you're talking to Al?
You're gonna start, just get in as quick as you can. All right.
Bennett, I just wanted to mention, while I appreciate your comments, and I do think it's important to move forward with these particular issues, some of the legislation that is proposed to go through does have an impact on our industry as far as making our product affordable. So I think that just needs to be said as a sort of a predicate for, the sort of underlying here. And I know everybody on the call probably isn't totally briefed on what's going on, but it's something we need to keep in mind, and certainly something that's very much on our minds, as community owners.
I appreciate that, Mark, and I don't mean to be dismissive at all. And I know that there may well be a desire on the part of council members to talk as a council. I think there'll be time for that, and I'll be happy to respond to anybody who wants to suggest that we do that. Things may be a lot clearer. I believe the hearings start next week, so things may be in a different posture by the time we get to.
Very
Again,
good.
thank you.
Thanks.
So I did want to, just in the interest of time, I sent out the list of sort of brainstorming ideas that the ad hoc committee had going back many, many months now. They're in no way meant to curtail or dictate what we do. I just thought it'd be helpful to have them in front of us. And in the interest of time, I spent some energy today thinking about structural stuff as opposed to the substance, right? How do we get anything done? And the reality is, when you meet 4 times a year, you don't get anything done, right? That's what advisory councils do. They just convene and talk, and they don't do things. And we actually want to do something. And I think, in my experience, the only way that's going to happen is if we have work groups that meet between our quarterly meetings, or even between our special meetings, if we have them, to focus on those 2 broad areas that we adopted unanimously at our December meeting. And so I've put together, just as a way to jumpstart things, I'm going to try to, this is an experiment for me too, because I have not ever tried sharing on oh dear. Oh, this may work. Please bear with me a second. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it, Bennett.
Hang on a minute.
Okay, great. I'm going to try to enlarge it and make it legible. Whoa, that was overkill. Sorry. It's
Hey, you got it. You got a. It's 860 840 2075.
okay.
All right. Thank you.
So just
Sorry.
just to get us started, I thought, and this is purely suggestive, that we might try forming 2 work groups, one for the home on the hill, and the other for, calling it public education. We could call it a lot of different things, but it goes to the sort of image piece. And under that, I've suggested, again, purely illustrative, some actions that the work group would have to do. So for the home on the hill, get a manufacturer that's willing to loan us the home, work on dates, get legislative sponsors and get permission from the legislative management. Make sure we've got heavy media coverage. Again, working now with the education work group, which comes next. Identify our target audiences, and then organize the constituencies that we have in order to reach those targets and make sure we bring them in. And really sort of maybe what I should have said was to clearly define. First step is to clearly define what the objective of the home on the hill is. What do we want to accomplish? What's our takeaway from that? And so that was one example. And then the second work group I was thinking of was this public outreach, public will building, education, developing a media strategy, identify both targets and allies in affordable housing efforts, nonprofits, developers, advocates, government, quasi-government entities, develop relationships with the key ones, and starts sharing information, maybe attending each other's meetings, that kind of stuff. Developing media contacts and starting to develop positive stories, and develop a social media presence. Again, these were just some thoughts to get us going. And I would really like to encourage folks now to jump in and talk about whatever they think is going to be the most effective way for us to proceed. Miriam, hi.
Hi, sorry, folks.
Welcome.
Thanks.
You missed our newest member. Liz Burdick is the town planner who has just been appointed by the governor, and she'll be with us at our next meeting.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah. Mark, if you're talking, you're muted.
You're still sharing your screen. I don't know if you want,
Thanks.
if you want.
No, I can stop doing that.
Yeah, just
Thank you.
just in case something popped up.
So you've got the floor. Thoughts? How best to organize ourselves?
I don't know. The only thing I guess I could share, I really haven't had a chance to look through your list today. I can share the Champion's interested in bringing a home down. However, they want one of us to buy it after, which is okay. It's just a timing issue.
Rafie's been looking for a new place. He'll do it.
Yeah. So I think, so they're interested in doing it. And what I would probably need to do is, circulate, I guess, the home. They're doing a specific model home today, and just see who's looking. I mean, someone's always buying a home.
Yeah.
And so it does sound a little daunting, but they are willing to do it, so that's the first part. The second part is getting somebody to buy it after the show's over. And so we'd have to coordinate that a little bit close with somebody, but we could surely start to circulate around and see who's looking for homes, because it's already almost February, and somebody would surely order a home today, wouldn't get it till April anyway. And so, we'll have to check around to see and I can do that. I don't mind checking around with all the communities, and Nancy can help me with that. And, but, and then the question is, how many homes do we want? Do we want to try to get one? I don't know what their appetite is for a double wide, but I surely know that having a double wide home there would bring some real attention because of its size, especially when you're inside. They're very deceiving. The problem is it's very labor intensive to put two sections together and make it look right. But we'll see. But there's enough people still buying homes today. I did notice somewhere on your thing it said that their home shipments were down. Actually, home shipments were up in 2022 versus 2021. And the only reason shipments are down in the last couple of years is because the manufacturers' plants can't keep up with the volume that there actually were 12 months out when we ordered a home in the end of 21. You didn't get it for almost 8 to 12 months. And so that was the reason why a lot of the shipments were down, not because there wasn't a need for it, but because there was a lack of ability to make them, mainly due to labor shortages and the fact that there was such a lack of housing that everybody that had spaces started to order homes like crazy, and that just overloaded the plants. So that's part of the reason the shipments were a little bit wonky, but 22 was up over 21. I will tell you though, the first quarter of this year does not look good. That because they ordered so many homes in 2022, that home orders have dropped dramatically through the manufacturers. The only upside to that, Bennett, is that the prices were up 50% in 2022 over 2021, and now the
That
price
again,
is starting to come down.
50.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we used to be able to order a single wide home for, now not shipped, not set up, not installed and stuff, but I could order a home for 40 grand, 45 grand. And then you have to get it delivered and you have to get it set up and put it on a pad. And, so you were getting close to 80 or 90 grand when you were done. But now the homes were getting close to 70 before they even shipped. And so it made it very difficult, especially for people who rent homes, to want to bring them in and fill spaces to rent. But prices are starting to come down a little bit. And the shipping guys were really gouging people like crazy. We used to get a single wide ship from New York for a flat fee of $2,500. Now it's almost $6 grand to ship the house, same house. And quite frankly, gas didn't go up that much. So
Really?
there's a lot of gouging going on today in the terms of shipping, but you don't have a choice. If you want the home, that's what it was. But things are starting to settle down a little bit, which is good. But anyway, long story short, that there is appetite for bringing homes in. We just got to kind of do a little dance at the end to try to find a home for it.
Yeah, I appreciate that the setup for a double wide would be very.
Yeah, but they do it. I mean, we'll see. I feel like would have an impact. So I'm surely going to ask, because if you don't ask, you don't get. But if not, we'll try to get the best single wide, we can for demonstration. Because what happens is you get a lot of people in there. So you're going to bring in a lot of, whether it's legislators or media, whatever, a single wide will get pretty cramped very quickly. So, we want to try to make it as nice as possible.
Yeah. And my own view is that we'd like the kind of wow impact that a double wide's going to have. Some of the designs that we've seen are just incredible.
They are beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to. I don't necessarily know that I want to be on a special group, but I'm absolutely happy to continue that, to try to make that happen. That part of it.
That's fantastic. So let me tell you what I was hoping for. That at least initially, we've got these 2 work groups to get us off the ground, and they can morph into something else as we move along, and work through what the long-term plan is. I think we're going to need to develop a long-term plan, and probably the education work group would be the place for that. My hope would be that we could get co-chairs, a park owner and a resident, for both of those work groups, and that everybody in the council would join at least one, right? And the work groups would be, meet on their own schedule, but that we'd come together probably at least once in a special meeting, because I don't think we can go 3 months, and maybe we'd have to do like every month. And the work groups would report in to the whole council, and we'd get feedback and discussion. Try to keep them brief. And just the idea is that the work groups will do the work, and it's just a report in and allowing others to weigh in if they're not on that work group. So I'm not going to ask anybody to make a commitment tonight, but it would be good if folks are willing to consider chairing either one of those groups to so indicate. Otherwise, I got to go twist arms. But I think we're going to need everyone's involvement if we're going to pull this off. Because I think the home on the hill really gives us the product and the visual and the action item. But to have that succeed, there's a whole lot of stuff that's got to be built around it, right? We got to make sure that we know who we want there and how we're going to get them there, right? And what we can ask of them once we do have them there, you know? And how do we build on it so it's not just this one-off event that we do every 10 years, but we actually get the traction from it that we want. I think that's going to take a lot of talking, brainstorming from everyone on the council. So,
Is there some kind of a template from the last time it happened?
Mark, you were around. Mark B. Come on, you were.
I was
kindergarten, but you were there.
around, meaning I was alive, but I can tell you I was not involved in it. That goes back to, I remember seeing pictures of my father-in-law's office from the home on the hill, which predated me by a number of years. So if I've been at this for about 25 years, so whatever template we would have is no longer available or is obsolete.
Hold on a second.
Being the Speaker of the House, you can get a hold of other representatives.
I don't know if anybody can hear Al.
But he's got a little static going on there.
Al's suggesting that when it happened the last time, he got the then Speaker of the House to go through the tour. Anything else, Al?
Yeah, Jim Amon was the Speaker of the House. So
Jim Amon?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
to follow along with it.
Yes.
And he says the Speaker of the House dragged some other members through. That's what I'm getting from him.
That's
I don't
exactly.
think it would be hard to get the members of the housing, the chair of the housing, if you get him rallied up with the speaker, who I think they're close friends. I think that would probably be the easiest thing to do because it's an easy photo op. God knows you could get Richard Blumenthal to show up for a photo op. So, we could surely, if we just wanted a face, I guess, I think that guy, if you just told him there was a camera, I would think he would show up.
He'll be there. He'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be there. So, but I think I think honestly, that wouldn't be that'd probably be the easiest thing. Getting the media to pick up on it, I think would depend on who we say is going to be there. So if you said, hey, these people from the Housing Commission, Housing Committee are going to be there. The Speaker of the House is going to be there. I think it would get picked up. I think you just got to do write a small press release and get it out to the media. So I think that's not so hard either. Once you get some commitment from people to show up, and we'll have to work with the staffers within the offices of those folks. But I think that's okay. I think that's doable.
I think we should aim for the governor and get him to pull some of his commissioners.
Yep, I should have started there. You're right, 100%.
Yeah, and I think the senators too. They clearly have a role to play here. And so, yeah, the more the better. They're like moths drawn to candles, but they also do in turn draw the media. So I think that would be helpful.
We also have a new member who seems motivated, Liz, who's a planner, and I think they have a statewide organization, and she might be able to pull some of her membership or suggest to their membership that they could come to something like that.
So they're a critical part of our audience, right? Our long-term goal is to make Connecticut more hospitable for mobile homes. We want planners. We need them very much on our side. And she's from an area that's quite friendly to mobile homes. So yeah, I think she'd be a good advocate. But I'm thinking there are all kinds of other organizations that don't know it, but really should be, it could be our allies. And this would maybe be a good occasion to reach out to them, start that process, see who we can get. Does anybody here?
Have the park owners ever heard of school systems around the country beginning to use mobile homes as part of the compensation package for school system employees? I think I read something about that somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it.
I've never heard it.
Never heard it.
I'll have to
I mean,
find
it is obviously a form of workforce housing, for sure. You know, we get a lot of people that work at the casino that live in some of our homes.
Well, we have a mobile home park in Greenwich, right, Rafi? That was created by the town in order to provide housing for municipal employees. And that goes back 20, 30 years.
Of Westport.
Westport, I'm sorry, you're right, Westport, right.
It was, yeah, it was a fairly small park. My recollection is it was a fairly small park. The park was gonna close, and the city essentially bought it and then used it as essentially subsidized housing.
Yeah, and runs it, right? We had to do a small technical amendment to the law to get them to run it. I don't remember exactly what, but so yeah, there is a precedent.
I think they may have run it through the state moderate rental housing program. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of, that's the only town I'm aware of that essentially became the owner of a mobile home park. There are at least 2 towns that have assisted in moving a park. One was Berlin, I believe, and the other was Milford with Ryder Woods. I don't think that Berlin put it into the housing authority, but I could be wrong about that.
Bennett, I've had a text from Marcia and she gives her apologies, but she's not able to get into the meeting. It's telling her it's an invalid link, so.
Did you tell her to use the second link?
I did, I told her that already, and she's
Yeah.
still getting the message.
Oh dear,
Al is getting similar message.
it's very
But she's
strange.
trying on an iPad. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Yeah, can she try dialing in?
I'll suggest it.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
on
to-
the first
I had
link.
to go off and come back in again. I had to close out and come back.
Yeah. Yeah, we were trying to reach you, but you couldn't hear us.
I couldn't hear you.
No. So does anybody on this meeting have experience with working with the media? Somebody surely does. No, we'll find you. Have no fear.
I
We'll hunt you
have to
down.
stop raising my hand, Bennett. I'm gonna tie a rope around my arms.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna just sort of work on the coordination piece, so I'm not gonna get myself into the, work group piece. But we do got folks who want to be here and couldn't, and so we'll follow up with them as well. Other thoughts anybody has about where we start this?
I don't know.
Do you need to get sign off from the state that we can even go ahead with this before we start working on a plan, or?
Oh, we've got to get to legislative management. Probably need legislative sponsors to go with us and get it. That shouldn't prove a problem. Yeah, I forget what
And then to establish the timing.
right. Yeah, they'll have a lot to say about that.
Right.
So the sooner we know that we're ready and know what our parameter is, the better, so that we can then work it out with them. The logistics will take some time, I suspect. But I'm sure they'll be supportive. They'll do it. Miriam, thoughts?
No, I'm not quite sure what the first hour, because I got in almost, or first 45 minutes.
Yeah, you didn't lose much.
Yeah,
nothing.
We've only been on for 30 minutes. Good try.
You know me so well. No, I just, okay. High points, low points, anything to share from the first half hour? No? Okay.
No, we waited for
But
you.
we didn't start till 5:30. Seriously, we didn't start till 5:30, so you didn't miss hardly
Oh,
anything.
Geez. Okay, great.
Or-
I don't know. I do know that I, you know, my amount of spare time for a new commitment is pretty limited, I would have to say at the moment. And I know you said 2 groups. One is an educational group, and what was the other one?
Well, to work just on the home for the hill, work
Oh,
with
the Home
the
for the Hill.
education
Okay,
group.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's overlap there, but that's a concrete thing that, and we have this window that we, really don't want to miss. In some ways, I see it as the kickoff to this whole campaign. Right?
Well,
We're never gonna get better media than we'll get for that. And the question is, can we have all the pieces in place so that we capitalize on the media and the political connections we make and the number of supporters, allies we can bring in to work with us? I think this has lots and lots of positive possibilities, I think, if we're ready to take advantage of them.
so
It's too
Bennett,
much work to be a one-off.
Before you start getting the politicians, don't you think it's a good idea to find out when you can actually get a house on the hill?
Yeah,
Did anybody hear that?
definitely. Yeah, we gotta do that. Mark's gonna find out availability and we'll work from there.
What's our time frame?
Well, you want to
And
do it
before the
right
session
after,
gets-
you want to do it right at the beginning of spring if possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
For 2 reasons.
Yeah,
Number one, because any later in the summer, you're going to lose a group of people who leave for vacations and it's hot. It's too hot.
well,
Yeah,
I mean, you also need to time it so that it happens during the legislative session.
Sure.
So, because that's really your anchor group.
yeah. And we don't want to do it at the end of the session, Rafe. We don't want to do it at
Sorry?
the end of the session when everything is insane, right? Because people won't
Right,
come.
no,
They'll
no,
say
I
they'll
mean,
come and they won't.
So you probably want to do it in April or May, maybe early
Oh,
May.
yeah, I
So
would say April if at all possible. What's the JF date for the committees?
the JF, I can tell you that actually. Give me a second. I think but I don't think you can time this. I mean, personally, I don't think you can time this for a legislative. I mean, I don't think you can time it for a legislative schedule in that sense. It's early March for the committee deadline, JF deadlines. But it's early June for the legislature. So I don't think you're gonna. Oh wait, let me hold it. No wait, let me make sure I'm looking at the right set of deadlines here. I think that. Yeah, I think that's right. Because yeah, basically, by the end of March, everybody except like the Finance and Appropriation Committee has hit its deadline. So in the subject matter committees hit theirs, closer to the beginning and middle of March. So I don't think you can plan it on that. I think it's convenient, seems to me, to do the house on the hill build it around the legislature because that's the hill. But I don't think you can treat it as sort of a legislative thing, really.
So the other thing is that Passover and Easter are both early this year. I think April 3rd. So maybe if we aimed for the second week or the middle of April, somewhere around there, second half of April.
That'd be doable. I mean, I think any time. I mean, what you want to stay away from is like the last 2 weeks of May and probably the last 3 weeks of May, because then it's going to be very busy. I mean, they're not going to want to deal with us. I had a question though that I wanted to ask, which is, I guess I was assuming that the industry has promotional materials. I mean, when we talk about education, part of what we're talking about is written materials that sort of are geared to popularize mobile home parks and mobile homes. And I'm thinking that we shouldn't have to produce that from scratch. That somebody ought to have those somewhere. And I mean, maybe the publicizing of them requires some organization. But
The national organization has tons of great stuff. I heard a presentation from their president,
I'm
did
sorry,
a
for what,
slideshow.
Bennett, what organization?
Yeah, it's MHI, the Manufactured Housing Institute.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so I think somebody might, if there's an education committee, one step for that committee would be to collect some suitable materials that we could either use as is, or that we could somehow convert into something that you know, the advisory council could have some name on it or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just want, you know, otherwise that becomes a major project of its own to get materials written, and I think that
Agreed.
we're not going to do it.
Mark, is that something, oh, Nancy, can you do that for us?
Yeah, if you let me know what you want, what you have in mind, I can see what MHI has. They have a pretty full website that gives samples of their types of
Okay.
materials, so
All right. Yeah,
They-
maybe
do
that's
they
a
have
starting.
I don't think that would be hard.
You know what
Do
we
they-
could do, Nan, is we could maybe book a call with Mark, just together, you and I, and just tell him what we're doing.
Sure.
And let's see what they can do for us. I mean, recently I've been beating them up pretty good for stuff. So I'm sure they have, like you said, they have stuff, but maybe we could just book a call with them and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. How can you guys help us?
Right.
Yeah. And he
They have-
even had in his presentation, he even had Connecticut specific data, as I recall. So,
Of course.
Do they,
yeah,
do they
he had
have,
cost,
do they have programs, do they have programs that are geared towards educating municipal officials? In any way?
I don't know, Dave. That's a good question. I went to something that they were doing. I don't know. I forget when I did it. And I think that was something they were adding to their agenda. Maybe Mark talked about it, Bennett. Did he say something about? I thought in someone's presentation it was getting something about municipalities, but Dave, we'll add that to the list. That's a good question, but I'm almost positive they wanted to work on. I'm almost positive Mark's presentation had something about working with municipalities to educate them. So I will add that to the list.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You were involved in that whole fight that was going on in Oxford. Is that right?
Not me.
Not you? All right. Well, I mean, maybe we could. I haven't been to the park in Oxford. I understand it's pretty nice.
Oh, you're talking about the Garden Homes thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I wasn't involved, but I'm friendly with Richie Freeman, and so I'm aware of it for sure. I got thrown off my own.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Does it show well?
Yes, it's still got some. I mean, it's still putting in homes, so yes, it shows very. It's one of the nicest. You know, not as nice as some of the Sun stuff because Sun's got a lot of amenities, but it's like a Sun community without the amenities.
Well, you know, I think if we're trying to promote low cost mobile homes as an alternative for affordable housing, I mean, and you can bring a bunch of municipal representatives to a place like that, and maybe it's an advantage that it doesn't have amenities because a lot of times amenities I think are kind of superfluous.
Dave, you know what that suggests to me? Getting them to go is a lot harder than bringing it to them. What if in the home?
He's talking about having some people from municipalities to go visit a whole community that's being built.
Yes.
To see how the process is. It's actually a very good idea. It's a very good idea.
Yeah, I was also thinking though, we could get a video and play it in the home.
Yeah, that's a
We
good
could
idea.
do a montage of parks around the state. Different types, different areas of the state.
I know
I don't know,
I know a videographer who might be interested in that actually.
Anyway, just a thought.
The season, if the videos don't exist already, that may just be tricky for this year, although it'd be a great thing to have sort of in the bank that we could pull out, because I would think we would want to do it during a time when there's a lot of greenery.
Yeah,
But-
mobile home
Yeah,
communities
to be
don't look
honest-
great in winter.
Yeah, and so that, I think if we didn't have it yet, I think that's hard to get done before we would do this. But
Yes, true.
but I could see making it a point this summer or this spring to actually do a project where somebody does go around and pick out different parks that that look nice, and we would have it. And maybe the next time we did this, we would have a video we could show.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth thinking about. Any other thoughts before we call it an evening?
I'm happy to help with, trying to contact municipal officials. I have some connections in various towns from my background as an assessor and appraiser. And we have a new member who's a planner who, I would think we would try to, enlist her to try to, when the time is right, to do a tour of the place in Oxford and Sun and wherever else the park owner thinks is appropriate. But I think the biggest obstacle is local restrictions, and I don't know how to overcome that except that you showcase places what they can be.
Hey, Ben, what are the chances of interesting the realtors in taking a deeper look? You're muted. You're muted. Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna look into that. I'll look into what, I'll call CTR and see if what they have, or if they've ever, they seem to be, it's always been lack of interest. I don't think realtors have really had the knowledge about manufactured homes and what they and how they exist. And I think it's a matter of getting them involved a little bit in front of them.
Be great if you could do that. I think the more everybody think about groups like that we can try to interest, to take a deeper look and get a better understanding of the product and how it fits into their portfolio.
You know, I'll check also, Ben, I'll check with NAR, see if there's anything, a program of some sort on a national level too. It could be. We're not aware. Connecticut is a little laid back about manufactured homes. Let's see what we can stir up.
That'd be great.
If there is something from MHI that they have that's Connecticut specific, I'd like to hear more about that.
Well, Mark and Nancy have volunteered to explore it. So, Mark Berkowitz, any final thoughts before we go?
No, the only thing that's running through my head here, and I think Mark and Miriam may be able to validate this, is I'm just wondering, and I hate to put a negative spin on everything we talked about because I think it's great, is getting everything done to get the home on the hill for this upcoming session. Meaning, in Mark and Miriam, you tell me if I'm wrong, getting the home manufactured, getting it delivered, getting it set up, then doing all our promotion to get people to come. I don't know about the timing. I'm just going to throw that out as something that we need to look a little further into, because I think if we ordered a home today, Mark, I think we would get it
I could get it. I could get it. I'm here 100% what you're saying. Obviously, the home is the key to a lot of what we're talking about. So if obviously the manufacturer can't make the commitment, then it kind of puts a stop on it for this go around. But I could do it. The problem is it's almost February. That's the issue. And then finding somebody to take the home will be the second thing. So first I'll get them to lock down whether or not how fast they can make it. And the second thing, they had because I went there and they had homes sitting in the parking lot of their thing, and I said, why can't you bring that? And they said, oh, somebody already bought them. So they used them as a demo because they made a new model using all sheetrock and some other stuff. And then somebody already bought it because I was like, oh, you already made the home. Why do I need to buy it? But they said somebody already bought it. So I think getting it here for April wouldn't be the 4th week of April wouldn't be a problem. Just like I said, finding somebody to buy it after the thing's over would probably be my biggest hurdle. But
Just following
and-
what Rafi suggested, I would say keep the window from April 15 to May 7. See if you
Okay.
can work within that.
Yep. All right, I gotta jump off.
Miriam? Nancy?
Yeah, I think I have to jump off myself. I think, is that Nancy? Someone's speaking or trying to speak. Is that Nancy?
It's Marcia who finally made
Oh,
it.
Marcia, there you are. How about that?
Oh, hooray.
Hey, my question for you guys, and you probably already discussed all of this. What size home are we looking at, and the setup on it? Do we have a size in mind for?
Yeah, well, it's got to be a single it's got to be a 1466, 1470 box. But yeah, because I don't know what their appetite is for a double, and it's going to make it harder for me to find somebody to take a double after it's made. So yeah, no, it would be a 1466,
Right. Okay.
all sheetrock.
One of the issues is, at this, the cost of them is quite high right now. To make them, to have a home that people are going to ooh and ah over, you really need it to be really nicely
Yep, you're
on the
right.
insides. Okay, and that means a lot of little perks that are they're not the most cost efficient. They're obviously on the more costlier end. So now you're talking about a product. I don't know. It's questionable to me. I think we're short on time this year, but.
And then you got to take it apart too.
Well, there's no taking apart really of a single wide.
You don't really.
Yeah, the only thing maybe all you do is take off is the skirting and stuff, but there's no utility stuff.
Would it have are you talking about maybe a porch or something that would be put on it?
No.
Not to be taken off?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, Dave. I'd hate to use the fiberglass steps, but unless somebody can build a 4x8 platform or something, I don't know.
I think the last one we did have a platform. I think they did have a platform. I remember a platform and a ramp.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I really do get it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow up with an email and please sign up for something, okay? And we'll keep moving. And if we can't pull off the home this year, there's still plenty else we can do. So all the groundwork, all the coalition building, media contacts, all that stuff can proceed. So, right. And next year is a short session, so it's very difficult. It's got its own problems. It begins in February and it ends in May. So we may have to battle the winter and a 3-month session. So this would be ideal if we could do it. Thanks
Okay.
again, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Good night.
Have a good
Good
night.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.